A guitar repair vise, also called as a pattern maker vise, is an amazingly useful tool for any woodworker. That type of vise usually is made of steel and cast iron. It's widely available for purchase, but I wanted to make an experiment and build it of wood. And I'd like to show you how I did it. Most of the parts I made of Baltic birch plywood. I started by gluing 2 layers of 18 and 9mm plywood to make 27mm plate. Biscuits are my favorite way to align parts. For this particular project I used biscuits number 10. The box came out pretty accurately. All I needed to do is to clean it up and sand it before next step. There is a trick to prevent parts from slipping off when glued. Just few crystals of kitchen salt on the surface and parts will not move while clamped. After 30 minutes I'll glue the other flange. I prefer to clean up the glue excess right away. One piece of 9mm plywood must be added to achieve proper height. Both flanges are made slightly oversized and I cut the allowance off on my table saw. This tiny piece of plywood is an important one. It will become a housing for the screw. We'll see it a bit later. I scribe the lines with the sharp knife before I bring the box to my miter saw to cut in size. It helps to reduce chip out when it's cross-cut. Chamfering corners instead of rounding them up makes all the lines nice and crisp. If properly set, miter saw allows to cut clean and make each cut perfectly square. Now, both blocks are ready for drilling. I made these parts of ash. This is very old lathe. I bought it as a scrap and managed to bring it back to life. I'm planning to make a video about that. Now let's make a base plate. It's also glued up from 2 layers of 18mm plywood. One side of the base plate is recessed for 6mm to accept a stationary block. The bottom side is slightly recessed for roughly 2mm. It's necessary to provide the vise stability when it's placed on the workbench. Nice tight fit. I use M16 bolt for quick attachment of the vise to the workbench. The socket for the bolt head must be done as precise as possible to minimize the play. The less the gap around the bolt, the longer the socket stays before it gets worn out. Very thin crazy glue helps to harden and strengthen the sides of the socket. I used beech to make the wooden screw. In my opinion, it has a more homogeneous structure compared to oak or ash. Maybe I still have to try another materials. We'll see how long the beech will last. To make a thread, I used Lovely Jig by Be All Wood Threader, which I got from Lee Valley. The thread quality is absolutely perfect. The knob for the screw could be done of the same material as a screw, but I made it of ash simply because I like the way it looks. I did try a few different woods to make the knot. This one is made of beech. I also experimented with ash and maple. All are getting cut very well. So far I didn't see much difference. We'll see in the future. Here's the thing, the hole to be chamfered before tapping to make a perfect thread. The tapping goes way easier with wax. The handle is made of ash as well. The reason is the same, I like the way it looks, and the process of making it is easy and obvious. Unfortunately, my lathe doesn't have a chuck, so I have to drill the hole on the drill press. Now, the rear mount block. I made 2 blocks just in case. I use parts as a template to mark the holes in the corresponding parts. This method guarantees me that all holes match each other perfectly. There is a simple trick. The drill rotates counterclockwise. It doesn't allow the drill bit to dig in suddenly too deep into the part, but still leaves the mark, just enough to see it. I use the same size hardware all around the assembly. Probably M6 screw to hold little plates in place is overkill, but it simplifies the assembly process by allowing me to use the same size Allen key all around. Now, mounting nut assembly. Square tip is needed to transfer the momentum from the wooden shaft to the steel nut. If I'm asked what these multiple pencil marks are for, the answer is this. It simply helps me to see if the position of the part is perfectly parallel to the table. Here it is, another hexagon socket. When it's finished, I also reinforce it with CA glue. M16 steel nut and an enlarged washer could be probably glued into the wooden casing, but something tells me it's not that necessary. I prefer to make the casing this way so I could replace the nut or fix some parts if needed without breaking the assembly. I make this mark before I take the knot assembly apart because I know when the holes are done by hand, it almost never match corresponding holes. Tape on the opposite side helps to prevent tear out when the drill bit goes through, and it will be taken apart for finishing. I call this part a clumping block. The glue applies easily gets squared on the jointer before ripped on the table saw and cut in size on miter saw. I decided to make these blocks slightly lower, so I chopped off around 9 or 10 millimeters. And the final touch, all parts to be waxed and polished. Waxing makes all parts nice and smooth and also prevents any glue and paint from getting stuck on the surface when vise is used. First, I installed the posts into the corresponding blocks and secured with flathead M6 screw from inside. Next step, I put the polyethylene washer in place. Then I carefully slide the screw into the corresponding hole. Secure the screw in place with two half plates. Works nicely. Next part is the stationary block. Nut should behave exactly like that. It must float inside the corresponding nest in all three directions. It will allow the screw pull and push smoothly without getting stuck. All rails and blocks are secured in place with M6 screws and washers. And finally, the rear block keeps rails together. And this completes the assembly. While I was working on the video editing, I realized that the base plate better to be round. So I spent a few hours and made it round before I finished my editing. Here it is. Thank you for watching and subscribing.